Rachel Zegler's wild and excessively woke behavior has single-handedly thrown one of Hollywood's most powerful organizations to its knees. She simply undoes months of effort by Disney officials to improve Snow White's reputation. As it stands, the House of Mouse is in deep jeopardy. And what's at the heart of this debate? You guessed it. Snow White 2025, and its star, Rachel Zegler. The actress appears to have a gift for devastation, especially when it comes to billion-dollar corporations in her own career. It may surprise you, but since she publicly humiliated the Snow White remake, filmmakers have definitely avoided her. In reality, she hasn't been cast in any significant projects in the last 2 years. Her provocative behavior has made filmmakers hesitant, and the reason is straightforward. Hiring her may mean doom for their efforts. As a result, her career has come to a standstill. Similarly, Disney has recently been on a cost-cutting frenzy, driven by CEO Bob Iger, who is frantic to preserve the already sinking ship of Snow White. The film was meant to be a big hit at the box office, but this new move seems like hitting into an iceberg. The public uproar over their planned Snow White remake is becoming a full-fledged PR catastrophe. Actions have repercussions, especially with Stone Cold Stupid. Speaking of foolish blunders, Disney has released the new trailer for Snow White. Take a peek at the 7 dwarfs. They resemble discarded plastic gardeners. The story truly got off when the Snow White 2025 teaser emerged at D23. What was their reaction? Well, let's just say there wasn't a standing ovation. Fans were infuriated. We aren't simply talking about a few angry tweets. No, this has evolved into calls for a full boycott. Yes, you heard that correctly. A Disney film that had no detractors for over 100 years is now openly boycotted. Why? People are fed up. For years, Disney has reimagined its cherished classics, and many fans believe the magic has been replaced with, well, message. Audiences expected nostalgia and fantasy, but what they received seemed more like a lecture, and it appears that fans have had enough. Let us now discuss the most important problem at hand: Snow White herself. In this rendition, Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, plays our conventional pale-skinned princess. Meanwhile, the 7 dwarves are no longer dwarves, nor are any of them white. Here's when things become dangerous. Representation in the media is vital, but many fans believe Disney is working so hard to promote a message that it has lost sight of the essence of the narrative. People wanted a Snow White who felt familiar and reminded them of their youth. What they get instead seems like a total departure.
Things have consequences, especially when it comes to Stone Cold Stupid.
Go home to your mother!
Speaking of stupid mistakes, Disney released the latest trailer for Snow White. And I gotta say, take a look at the 7 dwarfs. They look like rejected plastic gardens.
And for some, this is a deal breaker. This takes us to the larger controversy. Disney prioritizes diversity, equality, and inclusion, or DEI. To be fair, diversity can certainly improve narrative, but when it feels forced, it can come across as false. Fans are not going to the movies to be lectured about woke concerns. They're going to flee, to lose themselves in a fantastic realm. Instead, what they're getting seems more like a woke fiction written in 2024 than a fairy tale from 1882. And the shift in focus, away from the story and towards message, has left many people disappointed. And, speaking of dissatisfaction, don't forget about Rachel Zegler, the actress at the heart of it all. Zegler is no new to controversy, but her statements against the genuine Snow White have transformed her into a bully, and people no longer care about her. Rather than celebrating Disney's 100th anniversary or taking satisfaction in her involvement, she has made it clear that she dislikes the original plot. She's termed it outmoded and irrelevant, therefore undermining the whole core of this remake. Fans are not impressed. They argue that if you're going to portray Snow White, you should at least respect the original figure. But instead of reverence, we're witnessing the inverse. Many people are now asking why Disney picked her for the job. The criticism has become so severe that Zegler is apparently being removed from future Disney productions. Yes, you heard that correctly. She's still attached to Snow White 2025, but her Disney career might be ended now. Can you honestly blame the studio? The main question on everyone's mind is why? Why transform a treasured classic like Snow White into something practically unrecognizable? If Disney wants to tell new current storylines, that's wonderful. So why not make new characters and worlds? Instead, they're taking stories that people grew up with and transforming them into something entirely different. Fans are not only disappointed, but also feel disrespected. Rachel Zegler isn't exactly keeping her cool throughout this storm. Nope, she's pointing left and right. According to her, Disney's marketing division is certainly to fault for this debacle. Zegler says that their commercial effort, if it can be called that, was largely responsible for the reaction. Every movie, poster, and information they published appeared to spark greater uproar. Instead of generating enthusiasm, it just fueled the public's displeasure. Speaking of marketing catastrophes, Disney is now striving to resolve what appears to be an unfixable situation. They've chosen to dismiss the whole marketing staff for the film, believing that a new team can save its reputation. Can you imagine the strain on these people? Trying to turn this tragedy into anything somewhat appealing must feel like attempting to reconstruct a house in the midst of a hurricane. It isn't simply damage control, it's desperation. Disney officials are concerned because this boycott is more than just an internet blip. It is a full-fledged PR disaster. This is where things become even weirder. Disney is asking for reshoots. Yes, only 2 months before the film's release, they are bringing everyone back in for October 2024 reshoots. How about a Hail Mary play? The studio is hoping that these last-minute modifications would help them re-engage fans. They have Rachel Zegler and the rest of the main cast on fast dial, essentially begging them to come back in and solve this disaster. But, let's be honest, how much can you truly alter now that the game is ended? And the never-ending influence does not end there. Disney had great ideas for Snow White 2025 goods, including action figures, dolls, and themed clothes. You know, the regular cash cows. However, with fans turning their backs on the film, Disney has halted production of all merchandise. Instead of flying off the shelves, it appears like the toys and costumes will wind up collecting dust in some warehouse. And for a firm that relies on merchandising to generate billions of dollars, this is a major issue. If you think that's horrible, wait a bit. Because the financial stakes are far bigger. Disney has already spent a stunning $300 million on this film, and with reshoots on the table, they're ready to spend an additional $10 to $15 million on top of that. It is a gamble, plain and simple. They're pouring more money into a project that's already causing PR and financial problems, trying to pull off a miracle. But honestly speaking, how frequently do these last-minute changes work? That brings the total cost of live-action Snow White to $445 million. But the real question is whether Disney will learn from this, or if we will continue to see masterpieces converted into cautionary tales of what not to do. Time will tell, but one thing is certain. The House of Mice will lose all of its enchantment if it does not resume its regular performances. No woke agendas, just pure enjoyment. So what are your thoughts? Is this the end of the Disney live-action era as we know it? Can they recover from this enormous blunder? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more exciting videos on Snow White and other woke projects in Hollywood. See you in the next one.